everybody, I'm John H. Queensland, and welcome to me talking about Role Player. Now, Role Player came out in 2016, and it was a game I got very excited about, and then stopped playing for some reason. I couldn't remember the reason. Then I found out a few weeks ago it came out on Steam on early access, and I got all excited. And then I started remembering why I stopped playing the physical version. Now, initially I thought it was just all the setup. You got lots of decks of cards, lots of dice, lots of things to shuffle, move around, randomize. Yeah, that's not the reason. The reason, especially playing it solo, is because I'm colorblind. And Role Player, unfortunately, manages to make any form of colorblindness hard to play. And just to demonstrate that, I'll bring this over. So this is a game that I played earlier. I just grabbed a couple of pictures. As you can see, we got some red die. There's green square, black square, white. What these are, I'll go through when we play the game. The bit that I want to show you is welcome to how I see the world. Red here and here and green. All of a sudden they don't look that different. It's a little bit better on the screen, but with the physical dice, I have to sit and stare and usually ask somebody. Every now and then, even on the computer, you might see me when we play, I'll grab a snip and I will actually color test to see what the color is supposed to be. Shouldn't have to do that. Thunderworks Minmap, if you're listening, tooltips. If there's one thing missing from the early access, it's tooltips. Let colorblind people, or just people that want extra information, turn on tooltips. Then when you hover over a mouse or hover over a dice, you can get white die, white alignment. It's simple, it's clear, and it's faster for people to jump in and play. Especially if you're opening up to online play, you don't want to keep excluding people. And then this is purely just to show you what it's like for other people with different forms of color blindness. It doesn't matter what you pick, there's colors that are very easy to mix up. And when color placement is important, that's not something you want to have. It's 2022. I kind of understand the physical release. I was surprised for 2016, but I kind of understand it. You got a digital version. The only reason I can see for not having tooltips is if it's going mobile, and you're going to make the same mistake excluding a lot of players as the physical version. All that said, Roleplay is a great game and I love it. And so let's take you through how to play. So when I found this, the normal multiplayer game was just against different people. You can now pick AI, so I can have a multiplayer game with just the computer. It's a very genuine experience. In terms of translation, Roleplay is one of the best implementations I've played. It's pretty bang on perfect. Online is exciting, but that's not here yet. What I normally play is solo. So, when you play, you randomly get a race, which physically you just get a board. Then you get a class. This is all building a character for Dungeons and Dragons. This is all Role Player is. You just got to make the character the best. So when you're having a look, if I need high strength, Orc, benefit, hits things good. Intelligence, not so much. The difference in the classes is not just a bit of a bonus skill. It's also with your stats, you need very different things. And the stars is how many points if you can get the 3 die to line up to that value. Now, if you got 16 and 17, if I have an 18, I don't get any points. It's too high. If I got 14 plus and I have 17, I'm within the range because it's 14 plus. So a little bit of randomization, but a big part of the game is mitigation. And I'll be stopping and talking about a lot of different things as we go. Powers, so I lucked out with a sort of sneaky thief class pick. If I put a gold die, I get 4 gold coins. Normally, everybody, if you put the gold die on your board, you get 2 gold coins. Mischievous, though, is what I'm going to go for, because not having to worry about your alignment, that's awesome. And I'm going to be a lawful good thief. So, in the board game, again, you're just going to get dealt a couple of random cards. One is your alignment. As you do certain actions in the game, buy things, use skills, your alignment cube will move around. If it's a bad or an evil action, it'll move to the right or down. If it's a lawful or good action, to the left and up. At the end of the game, you want your marker, which is just a cube, to be on the square that gives you points. If you do things against character, but it gives you points everywhere else, you will lose points for your alignment. So it's kind of like in Dungeons and Dragons, if you're playing a lawful good paladin, but all you do is belt people up for their money and steal everything, you get bad things happen to you because you're not playing to your character. Now the backstory, I hate to admit it, Thunderworks, I'm sorry. Very rarely do I actually read the flavor text. What I do is look at the colored combinations here. All that happens is when you're playing and you're putting your die down, you need to put that colored die, any face value, in that position. If you do 2 or 3, you get 1 point. Do 4 or 5, 3 points. Do all 6, 6 points. It's just a scoring method. So now we go to setup. I didn't get any. If I'd started with a gold coin, I would have started with some bonus gold, because I've got to put those down. Now, black on a black die, so I'm already 6 to the 14, 15 limit. What you've got to remember in setup is every time you die, every time you put a die in a position, you get to use that attribute's, hey, I have never actually noticed the tooltips. So, Mitmap, the developers, you're already using tooltips. Expand on that, even if it's an option. Yes, so there are powers that you can get. One of the most powerful ones is strength, because you can literally flip the die to the opposing face. If you're not aware, a d6, opposite sides always equal 7. So if you have a 1, you flip it to become a 6. If it's a 3, you flip it to become a 4. Exchanging dies is literally switching them between 2 different spots. Constitution, make 1 die +1 or -1 on the face. Intelligence is a straight up reroll. Wisdom, it's moving your spot around the alignment grid. There's the highlighted square there. And charisma, get a $1 discount at the market during the market phase. Now I know that was a big information dump, but you'll see how it plays, how it comes through. Actually, now that I've said that, there are some class abilities where, say if you discard from the market, you can use a constitution bonus, but you can't see what the constitution bonus is on that screen. Again, Mitmap, tooltips, great help. Now all this is important because when you're putting down the squares when you start playing, you can't actually use those bonuses. It's just straight up putting it down, planning, seeing how you go. So this is where you got to start planning out your strategy. So for example, I'm going to put 1 in dex, even though I need to score 18, because when I put something in strength, I can flip that die, and that way that will be a 6. That will be very helpful. However, I can only do that 3 times, assuming I don't put anything in strength now. So luck, planning, all comes into it. But jumping ahead a little bit of a phase, we have the market here, which will always be 3 different items. Well, it will always be 3 different items in a solo game. Where, as you can see, Intimidate, at the roll before I pick anything, I can re-roll all the dice on the choice, which is a pretty powerful ability. And this arrow here means I would have to move my alignment to the right. If you can't move your alignment, you can't use the skill. That is where my mischievous skill becomes so powerful. I can just use a skill as much as I want within limits. We'll see that when we get there. But I don't have to worry about my alignment. I can just go for it. Either way, no, I'm actually in a fair bit of trouble with a lot of this. Okay, so next phase, next pop-up, roll the initiative dice, which is what I was talking about. There's slightly different rules for solo and normal pass and play. You pass the bag of dice and that person becomes the first player. They would then pull out the die and roll, and they would arrange the dice in ascending order. The further to the right you pick up the die, the further in the order you are to buying things from the market. Works slightly different in solo, but kind of similar. So, but I'll go through all that when we get there. No dice to be reordered. These prompts get very annoying when you know how to play. I've only turned them on or back on to prompt me while we're playing through today. But yeah, once you start playing, turn them off quick. I'm going to put 6 in strength. So because it was a gold die, I get gold. And now I can take the strength action of flipping and flip dexterity. That's it. So now is my chance to go to the market. The further across you are, the more likely you are to get items trashed or someone got to there before you. So that's what's happened to the Mystic Cloak. It's no longer a choice. I can't have it. And as you can see by the die rolls, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whatever it is, just takes that one away. If I had gone in the middle, if I'd been second, down the bottom it would just be 1, 2, and 3. So if it rolled 4 or higher, I would have had complete choice. I could have bought whatever I wanted. And if you buy the very first die, which is the lowest value, you have free reign. There's no roll. And that's the difference between solo play. That's all it is. So I don't want to keep... That's actually pretty good if you just want to continuously get low value die. But I don't want to do that right now. I'm going to buy Intimidate, and I'm going to try to do all sorts of things. And that's it. That's a round. And you just keep doing that. You just place a die until your entire character sheet is all filled out and ready to go. So this hasn't happened here. When you're the first player or you're holding the die bag, if there's a couple of die with the same face value, you can change the order. So somebody might want to pick up gold, so you make that less attractive, or you don't want someone to have their race die, for me, which is black, class die, which is black, because you don't want it on gold, because you don't want to give them extra money and get an extra point at the end of the game. There is a lot to keep track of, but it's not as bad as many people think. I don't need to move anything around. I do need some... I'm going to put that in dexterity. I'm going to skip the action because I don't want to swap any die. I go to the next phase, and again, because I took the highest value, I'm going to lose something. Excellent. So, another scoring thing, items. If you can buy complete sets of armor, the more items you own, the more points you get. I'm about to, not cheat, but I'm going to use a modifier where if I get gold dice, it's then worth 1 extra. So that's now 7 points to me and +2 for my race modifier. Makes it a little bit higher to get the higher value items. What do we got here? Okay, so here I'm going to take the black die because that's my class color. Just make sure if I put purple there, but that's too, no, I don't think I'm going to get that. Yes. And I put something up or down. Okay, so just going back because I realize I'm talking out loud. The intelligence row 14 plus, starting with 2. I've got to get 14 in 2 die. That's really hard to get. So I don't think I'm going to get the... I'm slowing down to talk to you and I'm seeing that they're using tooltips. Use it on the important stuff. Anyway, I don't think I'm going to get that 1 point, but I do still want to put a purple die in there so I can get the backstory points up. No, I want to go -1. 1, 2. Because if I put the 2 in, I can get a 6 there, I can get a 6 there, but then I can't use that trick anywhere else. I'm pretty much locking myself in. So we'll see how that goes. And because I took the lowest value die, I can get anything I want. And guess what? I've got 2 hands. I'm only using a dagger in one hand. I'm going to use the long sword in the other, which uses the last of my gold. I was lucky I could afford that. Now the black die are also worth +1. So that will help nicely. They're all doing that, that's okay. So I'm going to take the middle one, and that is literally, I get some extra gold as well. Now that's a reroll action on intelligence, so let's see how it goes. When you, I'm keeping that. The nice thing about when you do that reroll is you pick which number you keep. You pick the number before you rolled or the one after. So it's a pretty safe bet that you can do that, and all of a sudden it's not too bad for me to get that intelligence action. And then one more columns, no, decrease. And so this is what I said before, 1, 2 or 3, he rolled higher. I get to pick everything I want. Now the thing is, I've already spent pretty much all my money. How you get more money back in the game is you pick an item and you discard it. So when you're playing multiplayer, if you know somebody's going for a set, an armor set, and you just need money or you just want to block them, just get rid of it. You get the gold, they can't get the points. It's not a hard game, but there's a lot more to it than people think when you just say, yes, you roll D&D characters. Oh, if I get the 4, I get an extra point, and I get some gold, which is usually a good thing. However, if I use the purple, or will already be there, and the 1 doesn't hurt, and that lets me flip another dice. I'm going to do that. Hang on. Ooh. See, all of a sudden there's something in there I want. So leather gloves, leather for a rogue. If I get the one item, I'll get 1 point, but I get an extra point to whatever the total is because it matches my class. So then, so I might do that, put it in, I'll make that a 5. Oh, wait, was that already there? Okay, I can do basic math. So then, 8. So that needs a 6. And now I can get a 5 or a 6. I can do it that way. And then hopefully don't roll a 2, roll a 1. So now I can buy the leather gloves. Yay! And this is the game. As you can imagine, when you're playing with multiple people, there's a little bit of trash talk and mucking around involved. Okay, so because I don't need to worry about that being a higher number and flipping it with the strength attribute, I could put the white one up there. I'm not worried about switching. I'll never be able to switch again. And then when I put one in strength, I can up that to 6, giving me 18 dexterity, which will give me 4 victory points. First one, yep, beautiful. I get to pick everything. How much have I got? 3 gold. How much do I think? I just realized I haven't been using Intimidate. That's okay so far. I'll have to start using that more. Okay, so I'm going to spend my 3 gold buying a crate. So if I get all my attribute goals, if I get the dice rolls all in the right numbers, I'll get 4 points at the end of the game. It's actually a pretty hard one to get. And now that trait had the alignment modifier, making me more lawful. That's why that moved. Okay, and this is what I meant by I should have done this before, but yeah, I can move them around. And if I use the 4 now, I'll get extra gold on top of the gold, which I really want to do. And that's also worth 5. So I'm going to do that. Take the action, flip that, which gives me the 18th. And then I only want a green 2 or 3 to get my strength. Yes, that should be good. I don't want the weapon because I'm using my powers as it is. Yep. Don't care what you roll because I'm actually just going to discard a card. And yeah, playing this digitally, that's a green one. That's too high. Playing this digitally compared to doing everything physically, much faster. I am slowing down a little bit talking to everybody. So yes, sorry, I'm going to use my skill. I want that green die, but I don't want it to be 5 because that will be higher than what's there. And I don't want to flip the die because I want to flip another die. So I'm going to use Intimidate, but I don't have to move. I can just use the skill. I'll re-roll the black one just in case. Oh, that was even worse for me in that sense. Okay. Yeah. If I use green, I'll get the intelligence. And then that gives me a chance to re-roll. Do I want to re-roll? Yeah, I'll see if I can re-roll the one. Yep, and then I need 6 or more. Oh, I really need 6 or more because I took the loyal card. So I can't just keep using Intimidate over and over and over because you exhaust the card. Tap in magic, same sort of thing, put it on the side. But at the very end of the round, you can reset 1 skill card. So if I had 5 skills, I could use all 5, but I can only reset 1 per round. What are we looking at in the market? So we've got some Nimble, which is a point. Every 2 die. For the moment, that's an extra point. Maybe 2 points. But if I use Nimble, that'll actually move me up and give me 4 points because I get the 3 for the alignment and that. So that's assuming don't roll a 1. Excellent. Yay! Refresh, off we go. Roll. We're almost done. What? Now I'm going to Intimidate again. I'll re-roll those and see what I can do. Oh, there we go. Nice. Wanted a 6. So that gives me that one. And then Wisdom will let me move the grid, but I'm exactly where I want to be, so I'm not going to do that. I didn't see that. I wasn't paying attention. Yes. Okay. So now what I'm buying, this is why you got to keep paying attention. I can finally buy the second armor piece. So that gives me 2 items, 3 points plus 1 because it's matching my class. Only a couple more rounds to go. Uh-oh. So it's good that it's black die, but I want higher numbers. Give me a 6 in there. Okay, so I will just use the 6. Which means I need another red 6. So one thing I haven't done at the moment is you can see how many items are in the dice bag. I've got 2 more rolls. I need a green and a red. Oh, they're the same number anyway, so I may not get all of my backstory. Search the dice bag and exchange 1 die in your character sheet. Ooh. Ooh, hello. And that's gone lower because I placed a charisma die, which means I get a $1 discount. Oh, but I've only got $1. No, that would have got me out of a lot of trouble. 2 die rolls left. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. So if I get 4, it's going to cost me 6 points. So I've got 4 of the 6 die. If I put the red... Yes, if I put the red die in there, that means I'll lose 2 points because I won't have the total there. But I'm not going to make them back. So it's more important that I put the 6 in there to make the attributes, because that's also 4 because of loyal. So, sorry leather pauldrons. So because it's +1 because of the dual dagger, that gives me the 6, which gets that in there. Nice. Please don't do 1 or 2. Even better. That gives me the 3rd leather pauldron. Okay, and it's a green die. That's actually not important because I don't get any more points for 5. Now all I want is a 2 or a 3. Yep. So that's done. That's perfect. Do I want the 2 or the 3? What money do anything for me? So greedy might look attractive because I'd get an extra point with 4 gold. This is literally the last turn of the game. I'm not going to get anything else, and it's going to move the alignment off the 3 points. Focused with 3 dice of the same value. Excuse me, it's 1. Here's an extra 2 points. And it doesn't move the alignment anymore because you can't move off the board. So I think I'll use the 3 to get that up to 17. I don't need to flip anything because I got all that sorted. Okay. Right. Yes. So the reason why I'm thinking now is I can go back and undo because nothing has changed. I haven't changed any values of any other dies. I haven't gotten any new information. Can't always do that. And being the last turn, I'm all about maximizing at the moment. That'll never be the same. Flipping will never be this. No, that definitely won't be the same. Okay, that's as good as I'm going to get. And so these are all the attribute bonuses. So I'm going to get the 12 for that. It always adds up to 12 points. Then it's just distribution. Plus I'll get the 4 points for loyal, which is a hard one to get. So, yay. Don't be 3. Excellent. And then that's going to give me an extra couple of points because I've got the one with all 6s. And then I don't have any more abilities to activate or anything along those lines, so that ends the game. And it's literally count up the points. Not too bad. And so, yes, as you can see, black die with the class, get a point, denoted by the star. I got all the attribute golds, which gave me the 4 points for loyal, and you can always click on them and see how it goes. The set, I just didn't get the boots to maximize that, plus the 1 because it matches my class. And then when you're playing solo, all you're doing is trying to beat your own high score. It's a fairly standard solo in that respect. If I was playing this multiplayer, this would work the exact same way, except the person with the highest score wins. And then the only difference really gameplay wise is that market mechanic. At the moment you pick it, you roll a die, something disappears in front of you depending on where it goes. However, if you're playing say a 3-player game and you always took the highest value die, 2 people will buy or trash 2 cards on you and they don't get replaced until next round. So yeah, this is why I like role player. It's a lot deeper than first appears and sounds. It is something different. It's dice rolling, pattern, area placement, set collection. You've got to keep on your toes. But it's fun, and it actually gets me to a sense state. So if you've ever been interested in role player, definitely grab it while it's in early access. It's a lot of fun. It's very faithful to the board game. And if it's a game that you are like the only person in the house that would like to play it, it's a great way to play and enjoy it. Fix up those tooltips. be a great game for me. I really think so. And then once it goes online, yeah, I can see a solid little section happening there. In the future, I hope they expand it out with the 2 expansions for Roleplayer. They're building a good foundation, which I think is really important. But I had a lot of fun. Hopefully now that you've seen a game and had elements explained to you, you can see the appeal and you want to try it yourself. If you want to know the ins and outs of all the rules, you do have access to the rulebook from the game. I think it's from the options. Yes, read the rulebook. That will take you to the PDF. However, I highly recommend Rodney Smith and Watch It Played. He does a great video of this. Yeah, I would watch that and get a gel of all the rules that way. And honestly, once you've watched that video, you can jump in, skip the tutorial, go for it. Other than that though, thank you for watching. I hope you've had a great time. I will be flying home from PAX when this goes live, so we'll see how all that turns out, and I will catch you next time. Thank you.